everybody. It's me again, Dylan. Uh, Vlog number 3, and it's been what it feels like forever since I sent out a video. But anyway, this video is about an email that I received actually a couple of weeks ago. He goes something like, Dylan, um, I'm thinking of taking the CCNA because I want to switch careers. Um, I work as a nurse. Well, this dude is from the Philippines. Hey, my kababayan. And he's thinking of, like I said, changing careers. And he was basically like me. Well, I didn't really change careers. More like a lateral movement from programming or help desk support stuff to networking. So his was more like drastic, I think, from the medical field to IT. So he goes something like he wants to start off a new career working in networking, and he thinks that CCNA is cool. So, and he said that is it too late? And what are the tips that I can give? Well, anyway, sir, thank you for your email. And I did respond to him, but I decided might as well make a vlog out of it. So, well, one, it's never too late to start. I don't think there's like an age where if you reach a certain age, uh, I guess unless you're 80, um, there's nothing that can stop you from changing careers. Um, like for me, for example, yes, I did finish a degree in IT, um, but it was more geared towards programming. But after college, well, after finishing my first degree in programming, I went into teaching. Um, then right after that, I did some non-government work, but nothing to do with IT. Though I did teach some IT stuff somewhere in the middle. Then, man, then I went to the U.S. I did a lot of things there. I was selling donuts. I was selling computers. I was building computers. I was managing a couple of servers. Um, I work in a. I ended up with a lot of jobs, assorted jobs, from retail to basically my experience was like from retail to enterprise to all sorts of things. And it's only when I arrived here in Australia, yes, I did go back to working for a cafe. I started off as a kitchen hand because, yeah, I was new in the country. Um, I started off making sandwiches and being in the kitchen and bagging coffee beans. Then eventually, actually, the plan there was I was actually supposed to go into cooking school. Um, but things changed thanks to my wife. Um, he said that, you know what, maybe you should go back to school, get yourself upgraded. So which is what I did. Long story short, I was supposed to get into programming, but I eventually ended up in networking. So so right after TAFE, or while I was at TAFE, I decided to take my CCNA. Then when I passed my CCNA, it was fairly easy, to be honest with you. We took it in 8 weeks, and me and a couple of friends. Then right after that, I decided like, hey, maybe I should take the CCNP, which I did. And since the CCNP is like 3 exam, um, after 6 months of taking TAFE, which is in other countries might be an equivalent to a community college, the school where I studied in eventually hired me as a tutor, well, a student support. then as a tutor, then eventually as a teacher. And during that time that I was working there, I finished my CCMP. Um, then yeah, and I got into other small jobs, contracting jobs. Then eventually it led me to this position now as a network engineer for an ISP here in Australia. So that's good. But anyway, so what I'm just trying to say here is it's never really too late. Um, just like in my case. So I did not really started in I did not really start in networking. Um, I only just started taking networking seriously because believe me, if you met me like 5 years ago, I hated networking. I just couldn't get myself to deal with subnets and IPs, and I don't want to get bothered by that. But actually, in my LinkedIn account, I wrote um, an article there about my story and how I ended up to where I am right now. Title, I think the title there was my cardboard keyboard and how I really started in IT. But anyway, going back, so I even know a person right now. He's like an English teacher in a European country. He started out as teaching English, then eventually he realized that he wanted to move into networking, and now he's about to finish his CCMP, and he's also an engineer in our company. So some of the tips, well, just start. I think like this also applies to yeah, really, it basically applies to anything, regardless if it's about exercise or you know, exercise, starting a new career, or meeting goals. You just have to start. Um, there is no such thing as a perfect moment. Some people make that as an excuse. Like, all right, I am going to start exercising if it's summer, right? Or I'm just going to start studying for my CCMP because it's my friends are getting into it. But it would really help, obviously, as well, if you can coerce your friends to take the CCMP with you, just like how I did it. Um, but the thing is, just start doing it, and you know, sometimes it does take 7 weeks to get into the habit. So you know, better start now. And the thing is, I I've read somewhere, or I think it was another podcast, that there's a difference between learning and knowing. So I think when you start applying things, so when you say knowing or when you say learning, it's something that you just saw in a video or you just read. Um, it's not enough. So if you want to be a network engineer, it's not in. Obviously, you need to know the foundation, right? So you need to you need to learn this stuff, and that takes time. And you shouldn't stop at that point of just learning it. You should know the stuff. When I say know, I mean um, go beyond just knowing what BGP is, what EIGRP is, or what spanning tree is. Um, if you This is applicable to those guys who does not intend to take the CCNA or whatever certification. This applies to basically if you just want to get into networking. It's not enough if you're starting out. If you're starting out, it's not enough to know what it is, but it's important to know how it works. That's why I keep on telling the people that I train, telling the people that I know or my friends that you just keep on hitting the labs. Um, it's not enough. You know it, but you gotta know how it's being applied because the moment you know it, you'll know how to troubleshoot it when things go wrong. Okay, and for those of you who are starting your CCNA journey or whatever certification journey you want to take, or just starting networking, just play networking. Um, at first, it will be so daunting because there's just so many things to cover. Just like when I started off my CCNA 3 years ago. Actually, this month marks like my third year in CCNA. Of course, if I didn't take my CCMP and my CCIE, it would have been this month would be the month that I should be renewing it. But of course, I'm good for the next 3 years because I just took another certification a couple of months ago. Um, so if you're starting out, make sure you do it bit by bit. As they say, how do you eat an elephant? You eat it bit by bit. Go one topic at a time. Take constant rest or breaks. I think it did not work for me, but for some, I think majority it works for them. So just plow through the videos. I think I already mentioned that in my previous videos. Um, if you're starting CCNA, your best resource would be CPT Nuggets, Jeremy Charawara, Keith Parker, Chris Bryant from the Bryant. He has his own. He's not from CBT, but he's from Udemy. So take it chapter by chapter, and then eventually you're gonna get there. Um, and lastly, you gotta enjoy what you're doing. This is something that I realize lately as I was going through my CCIE. Uh, I was just plowing through the INE videos. I was plowing through like I've started the Narvik labs. And then it's funny whenever people would ask me, "How's your day? How's your CCIE study?" Then I realize I've been, you know, before if people would ask me, I would be very excited with my response, like, "Yeah, it's doing great. It's going doing awesome," because it if you don't enjoy it, it's not worth it. That's why right now I am slowing down a bit, um, and try to enjoy life a bit more rather than just spending hours and hours and hours going through the materials. I know I'm gonna contradict now what I just said in my previous blog, but now I've realized it. So just to cap it off, again, if you want to be a network engineer, maybe I'll make another blog about this. Maybe I'll title it so you do want to become a network engineer. So I'm even thinking of putting up a blog, like just to show you guys what my typical day is as a network engineer. So you judge for yourself. Is this something that you imagine doing for a good number of years, or is it or yeah, something that you can ask yourself? Do I imagine myself doing this? So again, just to recap, again, it's never too late to start on a new career, regardless if you want to be a programmer, network engineer, or a philosopher or whatever. If there's not really an age, if you want to be a doctor and if you're 40, that's fine. Next, just start. Uh, it's never too late, but you gotta start now. Then it's not enough for you to just read, but there's there's supposed to be like an application, and I think that's the quickest way to learn. The next, learn everything bit by bit. Take your time. And lastly, enjoy what you're doing. And I hope that helps you. Or yeah. And until the next vlog, this is Dylan. Give me a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing.
I hope not a thumbs down. I'll below I'll post the link on my LinkedIn account and my blog. So until next time, yeah, see you next time.